All right, guys, welcome to episode 3 of the Weaver Way podcast. I'm here with my co-host Sebastian Villarreal and my good friend Kenny the Boss Cross. He's fighting at Tough Enough this Saturday against Tsugahu Amarsana. I know it's a hard name. That was difficult. I think I did my best. 11-3 fighter. Good experience. He's on a good win streak. Kenny, talk to us about what you've done to prepare yourself for a fight like this.
I've done everything. I've checked all the boxes. You know, it's going to be a 5-round title fight, so I've been doing 5-round cage spars where I have a fresh guy come in after 3 rounds. And, you know, I'm doing a good job of breaking the first guy, breaking the second guy, and feeling good like I could go another 5 rounds. So I'm feeling sharp. My gas tank's through the roof. Confidence is right up there with it. I got the best guys around me, and day in, day out, I just continue to do the right thing. And, you know, I'm just going to go out there and be me and let the cards fall where they may. You know, this is God's plan, so I'm just here for the ride.
I love it, Kenny. And I noticed a few things recently. You've changed camps. Talk to me about what that decision was like. I know a little bit, but I want to know, like, what the biggest difference has been since switching teams.
Yeah, I was just getting a feeling. I was just getting called somewhere else, and I, you know, told my wife, like, hey, I think Extreme isn't the spot for me. I feel like I need more teachings. I feel like I need more people to take me under their wing and kind of help me with certain strategies and sharpening my tools and learning more things. So, you know, I ended up going over to Syndicate, and John Wood wasn't at the gym, but he saw that I was there, and he messaged my management team and was like, yo, Kenny was at the gym, have him come back next week, and gave me a free week to test it out. And the gym was full of 55ers. And, you know, it's like at the other gym, I was kind of like, I was the small guy, and there's so much big fighters that it's tough to get work. And it's, you know, there's certain teammates that was nice over at Extreme, but it was just a better fit, better mesh with coaching and then having the bodies. And, you know, it's a nice family-oriented kind of like high school wrestling meets college if I ever went. And, you know, I can be myself. I feel like I'm opening up more, and I'm just being more comfortable, and I'm getting really good rounds. And so, like, I'm thoroughly excited and happy with the decision to go over to Syndicate. You know, we've been there for almost a year now, and, you know, it's really taking off, and I find myself just becoming a better person overall, like in and outside of the gym. Everything's really lining up. And, yeah, the dedication, you know, getting jiu-jitsu in with the Shapiro brothers on top of pro classes, just being able to have really nice cage rounds. And I got a lot of teammates that will be there for me whenever I need them. And on top of that, I'm learning a lot of different languages for Russian, Ukraine, Georgian, a little.
Yeah, so some of those teammates, Kenny, so if you didn't know, he's training with MERAB DVALISHVILI, Aljamain Sterling, my friend Nazim Sadikov. So you got a lot of good fighters in your team, not just good fighters, UFC champions. What's that championship experience training with those guys? Like, what do you feel like you've taken from them?
Watching MERAB do his daily due diligence, and, you know, like right before his last fight, he sparred 5 rounds at 12 o'clock, and he had to go fight that night. Seeing his kind of grit, and sometimes, like, you'll see him in the gym and you'll have a big cut on his shin, and he just tapes it up and continues to train hard. Like, seeing the style and the mindset that he has, and it really helps me with my 5-rounders, and seeing him get fresh bodies. And then I kind of just try to build up to what he's doing. You know, MERAB's a great guy. I get to wrestle with him all the time. And just a couple days ago, we were grappling, and I started tickling him. And he starts, like, laughing. And I'm like, you ticklish? He's like, very. He's like, very
That's
ticklish.
funny.
I'm like, ooh, I'm your worst nightmare, bro.
So that's the strategy to beat MERAB. You just let everyone know he's ticklish.
Yeah, so you got to tickle him if you want to win.
It's the only chance.
But yeah, no, I mean, Nazim, he's a great guy. He's got really good skills and spinny kicks. And, it's nice just, iron with iron, just clashing with these guys that are at the top and doing well and matching up with these guys and knowing, like, that I can get there as well. And that I go out there and put a staple on or a stamp on this next fight that I could be there as well. And, it just gives me a lot of confidence and knowing that I'm on the right trajectory, on the right path, and just believing in my training, believing in the guys that I have around me.
Absolutely.
Do you think switching over to this gym and fighting these higher level people is almost now your ticket to the UFC? Switching to this gym, this made it your ticket to the UFC?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice having people that are well known in the UFC because when they make content and I'm involved, or if they go and they speak about some training and I'm involved, or just, grinding with them in the gym and coming out on top, like all that kind of stuff does well for where you're headed. And I don't get too caught up into it because I know if I just do the work and do what I'm good at, that my time's going to come. Don't get too attached to any of it and let God just do his thing. So, he's gotten me here that I'm not at Syndicate by mistake. I'm not around these guys by mistake. I'm 31 years old. I don't think I'm even in my prime yet. I feel like I'm getting there. The discipline and everything that's really started to come together, it's God sent, and I'm here for the ride. And I want to be one of those guys, the high level guys that can give back and show other fighters that, like, hey, this isn't just a dream. Like, you can really make this happen if you do this, and the other.
So Kenny,
Getting to see you, you came from a very small town in Hastings, Michigan. I remember we met. What fight in your pro career was that when you fought Reese Brink?
My third, I think it was my fourth. We were both.
Your fourth.
We were both 2-0.
2-0,
Yeah, so your third pro fight. I remember at that point I was fighting amateur fight for my first amateur title against Mike Pintanko, and I saw you in the sauna wearing. I see this guy wearing a full motorcycle jacket, a motorcycle helmet, cutting weight in the sauna. I was so dead tired from the weight cut, and I look over at this psychopath, and I usually get annoyed when people are cutting weight in the sauna. I'm like, what the hell is this crazy person doing? And then he introduces himself, Kenny Cross. I'm fighting in the main event, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing in that motorcycle outfit right now?
Oh my Lord.
So I gave him a little Albaline, and we start talking. I showed him a different way to cut weight, and then we both won that night. But Kenny had a fun little moment after the fight. He was doing some fun stuff, but at that time, me and Kenny were not supposed to be friends because he was gonna fight one of my other teammates. But I just loved the guy. I thought he was fucking awesome, bro. That was one of my favorite things that I'll never forget.
That's all part of the journey of MMA, bro. Like, from cutting weight to the diet to water loading and watching Munib that next day. We did shakeouts and he's hitting the bag like a real professional. Like, he actually knows how to punch and stuff. And I'm like, dang, like, I'm over here just teaching myself in the backyard, smoking cigarettes, building pools. I had no idea what it was to be an MMA fighter. I was just faking it until I make it. And that's just little, gifts from God along the way. Because, a year later, I ended up moving to Detroit and I started full-time training with Michigan Top Team, and I become family with the Top Team guys. And, that was a real step up. And talking to Munib, we'd be walking around Dearborn and, we go to like some restaurants and Munib will order food for me and we get some good, whatever. We get a whole bunch of food and
good times, man.
You get that brotherhood and you go, wow, like, this is really cool. Like, I didn't expect this from fighting because I was, back in the day, I wanted to fight for the girls and the glory and the money and all. I didn't look for brotherhood and I didn't look for self-peace, but all these little things fill up these chapters, create the books. So yeah, it was a blessing seeing Munib, and then again, like learning how to cut weight, learning how to train. Munib was like, dog, if you can make it for 2 weeks at Michigan top team, like you're good. Like it's hard, but if you can make it through the first 2 weeks, you'll be straight. I was like,
we had a team of killers back then. That was a real high quality team in that moment in time. We just had a great roster of people to train with, especially within Michigan. And then now, like, seeing you go from just like this ultra athletic wrestler to the last few fights, you've been knocking people unconscious, even that one 12-second knockout. Just seeing the progression over the years is very impressive. I got to corner you a few times and help you as much as I possibly can. But one of the things that I've noticed in your career is you've kind of had the big moments. I would say, I don't want to say the wrong place, but just not like where, like if it had been in the Contender Series when you knocked out the guy in 12 seconds, I feel like you'd already had been in the UFC. So I've been vouching for you for a long time. But what do you think you can do to create a nice moment for you yourself in this fight? Like, where do you see yourself winning this fight?
Saturday.
Yeah, I definitely agree that I've had some big moments in some dark places where there's not too much notoriety, and I to that I feel like if God hasn't given you that readied you for that ascension, and you get those gifts, like they actually could be curses. And if I would have made it into the UFC at 25 with the way I was living, I wouldn't be in the UFC today. I feel like I would have already burnt out. I would have spent all my money. I would have partied. I would have, not found the fighter that I am and the man I am today. So again, it's kind of like such a blessing that it's all played out the way it has. But going into this fight, like I'm actually like more excited than I ever have to get in there and decipher someone's strategy and break them down during the fight and figure out a way to win, whether it's a quick knockout or if it's a second round finish on the ground, first round choking him, a lot of wrist control. I foresee a lot of elbows to the dome on the ground. I feel like I could take him down and manhandle him. I also feel like I can strike with him and test his skills on the feet as well. But, it's kind of like I'm just going to let that Holy Spirit inside of me, my intuition, take over and let the dog out, because this is going to be a big moment, and I've prepared for it. In the past, I hadn't trained and prepared for those big moments because I wasn't dedicated. The discipline wasn't there. And now this is not only what I do, on the week, during the week, but it's what I do during the weekends. It's what I do when I get home. It's what I pray for. It's what I'm building all around, is to be that complete fighter. And I'm no longer trying to fake it till I make it. I'm trying to turn the volume up on the dog that's inside of me and prove to my sponsors and my family that I am this fighter and I can make it from Hastings, and then pass that on to the next generation. So I have a lot of motivation going into this. And again, just being me, going in there and figuring it out on the fly. That's what I'm really good at. I see things in a different frame. I see it faster, and I know what they want to do to me, and I just counter it.
Hell yeah. No, you've absolutely earned your keep. You deserve everything that you've gotten so far. And like you said, letting God do his work, because everything's going to happen in the right timing. And you have more than enough, in my opinion, to be in the highest level of fighters. 16-4, correct me if I'm wrong. How many of those are finishes?
I think
it's like 14.
13 or 14.
13?
Yeah,
That's absolutely
13,
amazing.
13, yeah.
And we've seen a lot of guys get in a little bit sooner than that. Even a lot of guys that we know personally that get in a little bit too soon, and then they end up out very quickly. So I think for you, all that is going to help prepare you for the top level. So I absolutely am very impressed with everything you've done, but I'd like to see some magic, Kenny, and I really hope that you go out there and perform to the best of your abilities, because you're one of those fighters that I think could be fighting the Patty Fimblets of the world in the next year or two.
Let's talk about so you had 2 fights in the Dana White Contender Series, right?
2 weigh-ins.
With the what?
I weighed in twice, but the first Contender Series he got COVID, so
So you only had one fight?
I couldn't get. Yeah, he people's visas were problems. They ended up sending me home, and that was part of my downfall because I just partied for a week after, and then I got the call and had to cut weight again. I used to be 190 pounds walking around, so it was a bigger weight cut. Today I'm sitting at 166, and I gotta weigh in on Friday, so But
Easy.
yeah, the
Lifestyle
guy
change.
that I fought, he had 2 fights. He won his first one. He was 10-0, and then I beat him, and he hasn't ever fought again. I just,
Yeah.
he's 10-1 now. I retired him.
After that fight you had with him, did you think you secured a spot for a ticket to the UFC?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was too cocky and confident. Like I was like, I just beat a 10-0 guy. I cut weight twice, but like my interview was shit. I couldn't open my eyes. I was so tired. The fight was boring. Like I had a couple good moments, but it was overall one of the most boring fights I've ever had, and that's just because I wasn't prepared well. I didn't do what I needed to do. So I mean, I talked to Friendo after the fight, and he was kind of like, I don't know. I think you did. And I'm like, what do you mean you think? Like for sure. I'm talking to Uriah Faber. I'm like, what up, dude? My feet are all bloody. I'm on crutches. My knees were all bloody because I just was wrestling, humping his legs the whole time. In the third round, the guy's like, come on, let's fight. I'm like, I'm up 2-0, bitch. Like, I am fighting. But, I'm just out there holding. So, God
What was
forbid
that?
I ever have to fight like that again. I want to go out and show the people, make magic happen, like Manip said. That's what I'm capable of doing.
Absolutely.
What was that feeling like when Dana said your name and he said, maybe not yet you're ready for the UFC?
How'd you feel in that moment?
I was mad. I was mad, boy. It's like I was 25 and just full of piss and vinegar. Like I thought I was the man. Like I just beat this guy and did all this for the UFC. I'm a company man. I always say yes. At the time, that was my first fight that I didn't finish. I was 10-3 with 10 finishes and 9 of those in the first round. I look at these 6-packs, like dude, like I'm built for this. Like, come on. But now again, looking at it now as a more mature man, it's like, I'm with you, Dana. Like that, I needed to improve, and now it's getting to the point to where it's like I don't hold resentment and I don't hold anger, but I'm like I'm ready now. Like let me go and prove it this weekend, and
Yeah,
I'm gonna get in
absolutely.
there.
Absolutely. And what I've noticed from you, Kenny, is you bounce back very well. I don't think I've seen you lose 2 fights in a row. It doesn't happen with Kenny Cross. So that's something that is huge. Even with a Contender Series fight, it doesn't go your way. It's not perfect, but you make it happen. But all I want to say is, bro, friend to friend, brother to brother, best of luck this Saturday. We love you, and we appreciate you being the 3rd guest in our Weaver Way podcast. Hopefully we'll be able to get you on the winning side of things and be on the show again. And, do your best, beat the guy in any type of way that you got. And is there anyone that you want to thank for this fight coming up, and any sponsors you want to name?
I just want to thank Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, first and foremost. I want to thank my wife. I want to thank my family. And, all my sponsors, they know they got a special place in my heart. So, they ride with me till the wheels fall off. Trevor Watson, my man, he's really made this possible for me to move out here to Vegas, and he's had my back the whole way. Yeah, you guys stay tuned because Saturday is going to be a beautiful night. It's going to be full of glory and giving it to where it belongs. And, we got Cody fighting. We got Mondo fighting. We got all the boys fighting. And we got Calvin Harbaugh. We got Jake Wiggins. We got a lot of good Michigan fighters.
Big night for Michigan MMA. Big night.
Yeah, Michigan.
Where can people watch your fight? It's on Tough Enough. And
UFC
will you
Fight
have like
Pass?
a pay-per-view? UFC Fight Pass. Amazing.
Yep.
Okay, you guys heard it here. UFC Fight Pass. You guys can see Kenny Cross take on, I can't even attempt to say his name twice.
The Mongol.
But yeah, Mongol. And inshallah, victory. Kenny, thank you so much. Repping Weaver as always. My brother, we will see you soon. Sebastian, you got anything to add?
Nothing. Thanks for the interview, Kenny.
Kenny,
God
best of
bless
luck,
you guys.
brother.
Thank you. Let's go.
We'll talk soon. See you, brother. Best of luck Saturday.
Peace.
Peace out.